Uh-oh, we're live from the other side. What's up, beautiful brave hearts? I was just on live on YouTube. I went like, I guess, I don't know what's the difference, but we're here on StreamYard, which I haven't been in a long time. I just got so used to learning how to monetize on YouTube than StreamYard, so it's a little bit easier. But I don't know you know, what I left off at, because usually when I go live on StreamYard, I can't see the comments. But if you are in here, and you know, I can't see you. If I don't see you, then you're not in here. But if you are in here and you want to say hello, say hello. I don't know how many people are in here, but I would definitely keep talking because I want to do my live on this side, the StreamYard side, to see if we can get more subscribers based on our topics and discussion on Freestyle Friday. Ain't nothing changed, just the time and the side that we're on. So welcome one, welcome all. Definitely for and a great, beautiful shout out to my supporters. Of course, the one and only Brave Hearts, the bold, the beautiful, the cool, the confident, the sexy, and the intelligent. That's the only people that should be a part of Brave Hearts are those that meet those characteristics because that's what I made this and started this YouTube channel for those type of people, especially the ones that are great at critically thinking. But if you're not, you will learn today and you will learn how to think in this life, I am all grateful for. But most importantly, I think we as women should at least, instead of judging men, make them think a little bit more, right? Like we'll push back their judgment and put a thought into their head and help them process it with a little bit of thought instead of them making broad accusations or them making assumptions about us women. We are here to make men think, not teach them because they don't feel like they can learn from women. But I think we have a better shot at making them think than teaching them. I guess it's all in the same, but it's a little bit different. But here we go, back at it one more time. And the title is Men Who Only Have $40. I was discussing on the other channel about food stamps, that how I said food and stamps because I do pay for food with my stamps. That's what it's for, and that's what I use it for. Because the discussion going around about food stamps, EBT, SNAP is absolutely crazy. Everybody have voiced their opinion. The ones that voice their care and concern and compassion, we heard you. But the ones that didn't voice their care, concern, and compassion, we have something to say to you, especially particular with the men. I just want my audience to know that I don't have nothing against anybody or any race. But when you live in a community of people of the same race, you seem to face the same problems and hear the same things over and over again. And it's like, okay, now where and what time, at what point in our lives do we address like the black men of 2025? Hey, hi Bronx. I mean, hi Bronx and everyone. Hi Lasagna. I can see the comments. Oh shit, we back in effect, baby. Oh my goodness, I haven't been on StreamYard in so long. They changed everything. Like they have definitely upgraded. And I don't know if I can definitely invest in the upgrade, which it would seem that it would help the channel and grow my channel, bring in more viewers. But like that's just because I have to continue to build my audience and my memberships where it would go to causes like this or um, expenses like this to pay for StreamYard just to have a great stream and a great live. But hi, Lasagna. Hi, everyone that's in the chat. Y'all sit back and listen like you always do. You know, I once I go, I go. You have any questions? Well, my supporters don't even have to think about this twice. They already know they are very much welcome to say any and everything they want to push back, give criticisms, open up the discussions. That's how we do over here. Everyone is welcome and everyone is will be I guess treated with respect. But this discussion has been so broad amongst the world and this society that we live in. But I just don't, you know, it doesn't sit well with me that the black men in the black community have so much to say about the black woman that may or may not lose her food stamps due to a government shutdown. That gave them enough. Um, the government shutting down the food stamps for 40 million people that needs it and use it is crazy and wild, right? Like the 40 million people that are on food stamps cannot even ever even want to think about getting close to being a trillionaire because that's what's going to happen come soon. You're going to hear about the first trillionaire in the world. Elon Musk is already the richest man in the world, but um, he will, if he is the richest man in the world, he will become the trillionaire. I don't know. And he's not alone. So I guess what I'm saying is like, why are black men that are not even close to being a millionaire or 100,000 or making $100,000 a year or even making a million a year or even have a million in their bank account or even have like a large savings emergency fund where they can rely on that they don't ever have to um, rely on food stamps have so much to say. These are the men that I have heard. I'm like, yo, what's going on with these black men? And not because I love black men. I just don't love all of them. I don't love the creepy crawlers. I don't love the ones that's getting up on YouTube and voicing their opinion and acting like they're so smart and intelligent and that they're so much better than a woman that's receiving food stamps. The ones that has so much to say about a black woman that may be losing her food stamps because the government shut down is the ones that don't pay child support and the ones that won't pay child support because he can't afford to pay child support. So now he's going to have a reason to come forward and say, oh, see, black women need us more than they think. These are the ones that's going around that stood out the most to me about a man, black men criticizing, targeting, harassing, bullying black women, saying that saying that black women are now going to can't, since they can't sell their food stamps, that they are going to be giving it up for $40. Oh, thank you, Lasagna. Just oh, Lasagna is the sweetest. Thank you. I want to keep it going. Right? These like I just feel like I'm not sitting here like uh, looking down on a women or woman that may have done that or would do that for $40. No, this is not about you. This is about the men that have so much to say about the woman that they are willing to pay $40 to have sex with. Like, what type of man are you to sit back? Because this is part two of what did on my other live. I got cut off. I guess it's a time on there and it just automatically shut off. So I'm going to see what damage I could do over here, what cause or however. But when I hear men get up on a pedestal and talk down to black women, and it's just men in particular, like the only faces I've seen like berating and degrading women, and when it comes to our communities, the black men talking about, oh, now they can't cash in their food stamps, now they're going to need men more now than ever, now women are going to start sleeping with men for $40. Like, that may be, but what type of man of you that you are paying $40 for a woman? So you do have the mentality and the mindset and the frame work of a welfare recipient, right? Because if women are being harassed and tormented and criticized and critiqued and scrutinized for buying a processed food with her food stamps, what does that say about you as a man that would pay $40 for a woman to have sex with her, and because she need $40 because she can't and she don't have her food stamps turned on? What you think that $40 could do with, what do you think she can do with that $40? What would she buy with that $40 because she don't have food stamps? Men can't even answer this shit. You're not even capable of forming a thought about, like, if a woman was to have sex with you for $40 and you paid her $40 to have sex with you, hopefully she don't have to suffer too long. It's 2 seconds in and out, quick. But my question to you is As a man, what can a woman possibly buy with $40 to feed her family? Right? If you can answer that question and you can map out a menu and you can map out a like something like like design a menu or meal of $40. Say she got like two children at the most, and you give her $40 and she coming over and saying that she need $40 to feed her kids because her food stamps was cut off, and you be like, oh, okay, I'm deep in her head. She's like, this is a real creep, a real weirdo, a real sicko, a real psychopath. But because he's so thirsty, he had to save up 2 months just to pay, you know, $40 for something that I made need at the time. Like he's a psycho. He in his mind, whatever he thinking, like, oh yeah, I'm about to have sex with this woman for $40 so she could feed her two kids that she can't afford to feed. Hopefully the exchange between those two type of people, this man in particular, is a fast and easy one. 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds is all. It will be great for that woman, so she won't have to endure any other disgusting bullshit that you may think of or try to get any extras out of $40. But if you're not the type of man that can come up with a meal that would fit the need of that woman and her two kids, like what she would spend that $40 on, because y'all men are saying that women are cashing in food stamps and getting money for it, or now that we can't cash in food stamps, that we have to have sex with y'all for $40. Like, what type of man are you that stand on the shoulders of other men and go around other men and say, yo, I paid $40 for sex, and then the man that don't have to pay $40 for sex and can't afford to pay more for sex is looking at you like you are a piece of filth. What, you went around in the crack house and you picked up a woman? These are the type of men that, this is the only type of woman. I'm not even trying to be funny when it comes to $40, and I'm not even trying to be funny towards women that had to have sex for $40 with a man. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the idea of $40 woman that a man would pay sex for. This is the type of man that would go into the crack house and search for a $40 woman. Either she's, they are having sex, or this is a grown and sexy chat. I don't even know if I could get monetized off of this. Either he's going and searching in a crack house for this woman to give him so he could get off cheap and easy and maybe get a disease along the way, right? That's the ideal woman that would have sex for $40, is a woman that's on drugs. But you think a woman with two children in this state in 2025, in this atmosphere, in this like this climate, will have sex with a creep, a sicko? She would throw all her integrity out the window to have a like sexual relationship with a man that's paying $40, that can't afford more for a woman, a man that can't like really, that's what he choose to spend his $40 on because he have a food stamp mentality, right? Instead of buying what he may need. So he's being a hypocrite, thinking that a woman's cashing in her food stamps, but he can't even afford to pay for a woman to make him happy. He has to go down into the gutter and grab a woman just to like torment her and harass and bully her just for his kicks and just for his satisfaction. That's what type of man that paid $40 for a woman to have sex and think that women are worth $40 to have sex and nothing more, nothing less. Like, you think this type of man is hanging around men that pay more money for a woman that's more beautiful, that's much more healthier, have much more status, uh, much a little bit more seductive and appealing and great looking and nice, all the things that a beautiful woman come with, but with a price, right? $2,500 is probably like cheap too to some men that pay more, where they know where they can go. Not, they're not going in crack houses, they're not going whore houses, they're not going in the alleys, uh, uh, using and getting homeless women that may be, in the street. They're not getting women that's for the streets. They getting a different quality of woman with a higher class that's a little bit more presentable and a little bit more appropriate. So when y'all men come out here and talking about women paying you paying a woman for $40 for sex, that is definitely reflective of who you are as a man. That you can't even afford a better woman, and the fact that you would pay $40 for a woman because you had to go look no further in a crack house is absolutely crazy to me. Y'all don't even have like the necessities or basic needs to at least afford the things that you want. But you are so quick to shut down a woman that may need to feed her family in a time of crisis, that you are dumping on like and punching down on women. Like, you men are scary as fuck, especially the black men that have so much to say. Like, if you are a black man and you came out so openly and bravely and courageously and bragging about paying women coming begging to have sex for $40 because they can't find their because they can't afford to put food on the table for the month, and they coming to you and that's all you got. You don't have no, you are poor also. Right, so the woman that you are paying for is the woman that's in your class tax bracket. You are no better than her, because you definitely can't like think ahead for the future. You definitely don't have that mentality or mindset to think ahead and do better to get better. Right? I don't knock any man that pay for what he want. And most men that pay for what they want, they pay for what they want. Not these slime, weirdo, strange uh men, psychopaths that's waiting for opportunity to have sex with a woman for $40 because he saved up his money because he couldn't buy a pack of cigarettes that day, or he was like, nah, let me just cut some cords somewhere. I can't afford a pack of cigarettes, I can't afford a quarter. Well, you can afford it, but you decide to use your money for different things, and then when you save your money up for another $40, maybe you could get your quarter or your whatever you buy for $40 to have a good time. But the fact that you have to save up for $40 to have sex with a woman because you can't afford a woman, and at the same time you hate what you're paying for, you despise what you're paying for. You want the attention, and you want the satisfaction of degrading and demeaning a woman that's lying next to your disgusting, filthy, ill, like animal ways, thinking she's enjoying it. She is suffering. So when she come out of that suffering, you still going to be a man that paid $40 for a woman and bragging about that shit. Okay, so when you men, black men in particular, get up here with your ugly faces, because you're the only ones that's ugly. You're the only ones that's coming out of the wilderness, coming out your character, have so much to say about women and their downfalls, that you not even smart enough to think about that you are like even more lower than a woman that you paying $40 for, because you can't afford a decent woman that you would never ever be able to afford in your whole entire life, right? You may have a car because you may make $50,000 a year, and you did something so stupid and obnoxious. Because I know, and I'll get to this because I have stories. So it's not like this is not happening in the world. A man that makes $50,000 a year and now he has an $80,000 car. That is definitely a food stamp mentality. A man that is um making $50,000 a year, that has an $80,000 car, that can't even afford to park it in the parking lot so it will be safe from haters. But that's what you choose to spend your $50,000 on. Starving yourself, eating ramen noodles plain, drinking water out of a gallon of water with a straw. I did that before. Drunk a gallon of water with a straw. That's when I was younger. You could endure much shit. I could drink a gallon of water with a straw today, like if you fasting. But a man that don't have his is not stable and don't have a sense of, responsibility, right? And he has a job. Yeah, he has a job. This type of man that's paying $40 for a woman has a job because his priorities are fucked up. He don't know where to spend money. He don't know where to cut costs. He don't know what to do with money. He don't know anything about money. Right. So this type of man is the man that would buy a $80,000 beautiful luxury car, right? And he's making $50,000 a year. What he's doing is like paying, like cutting costs where he can't eat. Well, he probably eat once or every other day, and he just probably have like 5 boxes, oodles or noodles in his closet or in his pantry. But he's smart enough to keep water in the house because you know what? You can survive on water. You can survive without eating for a couple of days, but you can't survive not getting the proper rest that you need. Right, we'll give him some credit there. He got water in the house. Okay, he got ramen noodles in the house. But now that's the reason why he got all that stuff in the house, and he can't afford to like completely, fully like his fridge is half ass. His fridge is empty. He can't fully afford to put food in his refrigerator for like 2 to 3 weeks because now he got to pay that car payment, that $1,000 that's kicking his ass. And he can't even afford to park it in the parking lot because he can't afford it. He went out and bought an 80,000. And this is just in general. And I know you're probably like, well, is this personal? No, but I do know men, and this is happening all over the world where men make themselves look much more better than they are. And that's the only thing that make a man look good is the quality of his car. He could be dead ass poor and he still have a car, but he still want to like bully a woman for like having sex for $40 for food stamps, right? Because he make $50,000 a year. You see him in his uniform. This is just that storytelling because there are men out there like this, and hopefully the men that make it $50,000 a year and have an $80,000 car will maybe be able to think about your, opinions of women that are on food stamps and that may have sex with you for $40. But the difference between that woman and that man is that the man is definitely a hypocrite. And the man is definitely not that smart because he can't afford to fully stock his fridge. I was looking for that word. He can't afford to fully stock his refrigerator because he have other things that he has to take care of. He figured like, yo, I'm definitely not going to spend my money on no woman. She don't get that. This car deserves that. Even though I can't afford the finer things in life, this car is the thing that I can afford. This car is the only thing I have to show for in life. This car is the only thing that I have to brag about because he don't have a large network. And when men say they are dominant and they are more the strongest sex and they are animalistic, when it comes to beating women out with like outpacing women or just thriving or being more successful, they're not in this day and age, right? Because his car makes him look good. His car is the only thing that he got to show for what he worked for in his life. So now he's so angry about a woman that may exceed his expectations and grow and progress and make a decent amount of money, and she's spending her money and having fun spending her own money. She don't have to share it with anybody. She may not have kids, but he may have children. So now this person that's listening, and I'm not, and again, it's not anybody personal. We are here to make men think and open their eyes to a different perspective and insight, right? Because instead of men judging women that they hate and dislike and they would never do anything genuine for, they criticize, harass, and bully and target women. We're not here to teach men anything. We are only here to teach them to think. And maybe they will get healed in this chat. Hopefully they will and stay out of a lot of women's way. But this man may have children, like making $50,000 a year. He got $80,000 car. He can't afford to pay child support, so that's why the child mother is living, and food stamps is m- helping her out, right? So now he has an excuse, and his excuse is, oh well, I had to pay rent, I had to pay car note, and the woman that's listening to this is like, that's not my problem. Get rid of your car. You won't have to pay a car note or car insurance or pay for parking or pay for gas or pay for expenses to get your car fixed or detailed or whatever a car needs and requires to stay functioning. Uh-oh, that's somebody at the door. Hold on, y'all. Somebody rang the bell and dropped off a package. Just scared me. But yeah, as I was saying, like, listen, I mean, this is not like anything to be taken as like, oh, well, Bronx girl is like projecting. No, these are facts. This is we're analyzing the situation with the men coming so boldly and so forward about black women needing to have sex with them for $40 because the government shut down. Well, the government took their food stamps away from them, and they may have to not feed their kids properly this month. Right. So we're trying to make men think about the shit they say and think before you speak, because you definitely are not that far behind from getting and receiving food stamps. The only thing is they told you when you went to go apply and denied you, because I know a lot of young men probably applied on the low and probably would freaking front for the rest of your lives and say that you never received food stamps. Food stamps is not what people think, right? So say if I'm a person that received food stamps for me and my son, like, all right, a family of two probably received $500. So you mean to tell me that $100 a week, right? Am I supposed to spend more than $100 a week, whether I get food stamps or not, for a family of two? How much do y'all spend, men, on food every week and not get food stamps? We are only here in this live discussion, addressing men who think that women will come to them in the time of need and in complete desperation to have sex with a man like you for $40. I want the men to, if you were ever to listen and open up your mind to a different perspective, how much do you think it costs for you? Well, how much does it cost for you, and how much do you spend on food every week just by yourself? Right, what you want to say, like $100, $200, right? I guess the more children you have, the more you get, right? The most I ever got from food stamps, the lowest was like, damn, because like by yourself you don't get that much. You probably get like 100 and some change if you are on it by yourself. Two kids, like 300. Back in the day was different. It's not that much as people think. So when I hear people also say, listen, I wish somebody give me food stamps. Well, you wouldn't need food stamps if you get rid of your car, if you don't have to, if you don't need a car. And you wouldn't need food stamps if you get rid of what, stop going on vacation every 3 months. You can pay for what you want, but how are you looking for help because you can't cut costs somewhere else? Like, you can't sit back and say, well, listen, I can't afford this month. My car payment is kicking me in my ass. It's probably time that I get rid of my car payment because it is like exceeding my expenses. So this is why I don't want to go apply for food stamps. And even if you do apply, you probably don't make, I mean, you probably make too much because you got a car. That's an asset, right? So the people that get up here and say, "Well, I wish somebody give me food stamps." How much money do you spend a week on food to feed your family, right? I have a family of two. $500 a month. That's like what, $100 a week, right? Now that if they cut food stamps, would that would be like cut down to $50 a week. Know how to shop, know how to cut costs, know how to eat appropriately, know how to size up your portions, know how to reduce calories. Because women are fucking intelligent, right? Women are really intelligent. We wouldn't have to suffer as much as a man would suffer because we are intelligent. We use our minds and we know how to think forwardly. Men don't know how to do that. Men wouldn't even be able to tell you, oh, well, I spend $200 a week on groceries. You do? What do you buy? How could you afford $200 a week on groceries? 246. That's $600 a month. You still got to pay for your car. You still got to pay for your insurance. You still got and you still got to pay for your medical expenses. If you're not getting Medicaid, if you're not getting anything from the government, how are you taking care of yourself on $50,000 a week? You too have the mind and the mentality of a food stamp recipient, which you may accuse a woman of having, especially if you say, well, she's cashing in her food stamps and she's going to have $40. She's going to charge $40 to get the rest of the food in her house. That's like what you think what call a food stamp recipient. How do you spend your money? How do you like budget your money as a man that don't need food stamps? Or what do you eat on a daily basis? Because I have seen men in the supermarket, decent men that have decent shopping carts, that buy decent things, that buy healthy food, right? Because that's how I am, especially with men that especially look for women like myself or any other woman to see how they shopping. It's like you go in the supermarket and shop for your home. You have to worry about if a man is like scoping you out to see what you're buying. I have I'm pretty sure I confuse every person that what I buy and how I buy because we are smart. That's one thing women need to learn and know how to be is smart. It's like get ahead of the people that sit there and have so much to say about you due to your financial circumstances, right? You get ahead of them. Or they're sitting there scoping you out, sizing you up. You may look fly, but you pull out a food stamp card. You pull out an EBT card, and now they judging you like, oh my goodness, she got a food stamp card and she dressed nice. Yeah, because shit. I let them all know. I shop at discount stores. I shop in the thrift stores. I get secondhand. Some things I buy at retail at a sale price. Some things I don't. Right. Some things that I can afford. If I can afford it, I'm gonna buy it. Yeah. But I don't have I have an iPhone, right? And a lot of people scrutinize that. But what I'm saying is, like, if you have, I don't have a car, so I can afford an iPhone. I'm not that poor. No one is that poor. Of course, we are poor, like financially and economically. But I don't have a car. I don't have all these payments that you need to make, right? After you pay your rent, um, after you pay your insurance premiums, after you pay your car note, after you pay everything that's important to you, right? What is left. But I'm not shoving out thousands and thousands of dollars on things that you may be shoving out on, but I can afford an iPhone. The bill is like $100 and something, for a phone bill. Way less than a car note, way less than paying for insurance, way less than pumping gas, way less than um having your car in a parking lot. Do you see the difference, people, like between a food stamp recipient, and do you see the difference between a person that's making a decent amount of money, the more expenses that they have to dish out? So who here is making the smarter choices? Right? I don't know anything about because I know that listen, I know teachers that are driving Benz. I know teachers that are driving BMWs. I don't sit there and question their ethics or ask them how can you be able to afford to drive a Benz on a teacher's salary? How you are able to afford a Beamer on a teacher's salary? I don't pass those judgments. Or why do you need a car in New York City and you go walk or bike to work? It's a status thing, right? Or you buy so many clothes that you have it highly piled when you go to the laundry, right? So y'all people that are making money, that's contributing to society, that's when you retire, you probably have a nice retirement fund. I don't know, I'm lying. You need to definitely save for retirement in New York City. If y'all don't know, I'm going to let you know that in order for you to retire, I think comfortably, in New York City, you would need $1 million. Damn, I had the facts. And in order for you to keep your head above water living in New York City, you will have to be making close to $165,000. Or some people consider to be rich and to have money is to make what, a 500 to $1 million a year. So we all are spending money like in ways that may affect us in the long run. But I'm just here for the men that have so much to say about the women that they think that they're going to pay $40 for. That's the only money you have is $40. Like, you don't think that you are less than a man, then you are degrading yourself and demeaning yourself, going in and looking into coke and crack houses and the gutter to pay for a woman because you think she need $40 to feed her family, just to buy a pack of chicken, a pack of rice and some vegetables, a $40 meal a night. Like, people eat less than that in different countries, and food, well, where there is food insensitivity in other countries. And respectfully, we would say, like, poorer countries, they eat for less than that a day. So a $40 meal will cover for the day and probably some leftovers, right? If you budget it wisely, buy a pack of chicken, chop that up, buy a couple of cans of vegetables, some mashed potatoes, some potatoes. You probably already have the seasoning in the house. But if a woman is going out and she needs these things to like prepare a meal for $40, this is what she would buy because she know it will last. It probably will last for today and tomorrow. But the men that think that $40 go a long way, you are definitely sadly mistaken. You are really sick and a psychopath. $40. Like, they're gonna be asking for who are gonna ask who? You can't even afford to eat $40 yourself. You eating ramen noodles. I have seen this in the supermarket, man. Oh shit. I have seen this in the supermarket how men shop. Some of them know how to shop. Like, some of them, and then they, like, some guys, like, they take pride in how they shop and what's in their shopping cart. And I'm like, okay. I I don't think I have ever stopped a man in the supermarket and asked him any of his opinions. Probably once, the guy that I met, it was years ago, he was at the counter and we had the same thing in our basket. I guess he was checking me out. I was checking him out. He was nice and decent, but then he started to sound like a neat health freak. He'd be the type of man like, no, you can't bring not one chip up in this house because that's not how we eat. But yeah, he had decent, but other guys I see in the supermarket, nice looking, handsome, sexy men, well, they're sexy to me. They have like yogurt in a cart, or they have like stuff that's not too heavy in their cart, not like full solid foods that they can cook. Oh, I ask them what is your favorite meal to cook. They get stuck like duh, duh, duh. You don't have a favorite meal to cook, but you are in the supermarket by yourself shopping. Oh no, you can't cook because you eating off of yogurt and ramen noodles because you got to pay that car note, that car insurance. Put some gas in your car because you cannot be caught slipping once. You men that would pay $40 for a woman, you like just disgust me. And I'm not even talking about the woman that's giving it up for $40. I'm talking about the men that would pay $40 for a woman for the night. Like, you don't even have enough money in your bank account to go out and go to a different and hire a different class of woman because this is what your preferences are, but you can't afford your preference, so you have to, in your eyes, settle for less. And y'all men see why women don't want relationships, or we don't want to get married, and we don't want your children. I have children, but there are women that don't want to get married, they don't want to have a relationship, they don't want to have any children. And there are men that do want to get married and have children just to say they are married and have children. So women are slowly edging away and walking away from men and leaving them to their own devices and letting them figure it out for themselves, which is scary for men. That's why they're so lonely, because they don't have a good sense of character. Judge if character is off. If you are a man that is willing to pay $40 for a woman because you think she need that money and you are there to save her, you're the type of man that, I would definitely know that is lonely and don't have any type of friends or don't have any type of social connections with the world. And that's bad because you don't want to die alone. Like men will sit here, get up here, and they will have all sorts of opinions about women being lonely, women not being married. They really criticize black women for not being married. We're not marrying the black men because black men could be like very angry and shit. Like I feel like you are definitely an angry black man if you are a man that would pay $40 for a woman. I feel like you are an angry black man if you think that women are selling their food stamps. I think you are an angry black man if you are the type of man that think um you know, women getting food stamps is beneath you, right? Because that's the only people I heard saying it was, and it doesn't matter if black men wasn't the only one saying, they were directing their vitriol and they hate and anger towards black women. Who else were they talking about? Right? But this is why men in general don't see why women are single for the simple fact, hey Mary, how are you? How you doing? Long time no see. This is why a lot of women are single due to the mentality and the mindset of men and the way they think when they think. And whenever it's an opportunity for them to think, they don't think too clearly and they don't have a good judge of character. So they'd rather judge you than to at least think for themselves. It could get pretty hard for a man to think for himself. It's easier for him to judge than you know, think for himself. I just want men to at least think about, the comparisons and analysts, I guess, analyzing and like deciphering and breaking down and trying to come up with a solution to a lot of women's problem. Like you just can't sit there and criticize a woman because she's on food stamps and she may not be able to feed her family and that she is may need $40 just for the day to put a meal on a family's table for a meal for today and tomorrow. But you are a man that don't receive food stamps and probably make about $50,000 a year driving an $80,000 car, living in a like poor neighborhood, low income neighborhood, but you have an $80,000 car, right? Because I have seen men like this, right? And they have so much to say, even before. And this is why I'm just like kicking it out the ballpark with this one, because even before this discussion started about women may not get their food stamps because it's like only targeting women not getting their food stamps. I have heard and seen men that drive $80,000 cars, and I'm just going to name like a Range Rover. I didn't even know what a Range Rover was like until I was telling my father. He was like, "Oh, what type of car he drives?" Because it was some, people be hating on people cars. Trust me, that's why y'all buy them expensive, out. Not obnoxious cars. Like I feel like if you driving a big ass truck living in New York City and your truck take up the whole freaking street, that shit is ugly. And that's what men go for. They go for the biggest and the most unaffordable car truck ever. You're not making that much money, but I didn't even know. And this was a reference that like how much a Range Rover costs and how nice the car is and how much work, I guess, money that's being poured into it. But it takes up the whole street. And another guy, he like, oh yeah, because this guy accused me of getting EBT. He have a freaking big ass truck that he drive through the Bronx, like that take up the middle of the street. This shit is obnoxious. Those Hummers are obnoxious and they are ugly. I'm not saying like SUVs are not nice, but I don't think you need an SUV. I'm sorry. And this is how you know men are weak as fuck and they try to prove themselves over and over again just by the car they drive. Like Lexus are nice. I think Lexus are for people that's like laid back and smooth. Lexus is a nice car. Camry is a nice car. But when you start buying Range Rovers and shit and you can't afford it, you just want to fly through the freaking drive highway, flashing your car and shit, trying to pick up women. And every time I look at a man that's driving a Range Rover, I'm like, oh no, he can't afford this shit. He don't look like he can afford it. It's okay for a man to buy a car, but don't buy one that you can't afford. And in the same token, you sit up there like berate a woman because she can't afford to put food on the table because it's not her fault. And these are the same men that don't pay child support, don't want to pay child support, would never pay child support, put the woman through hell, make the woman feel bad for having a baby with him, and he lacks responsibility. He don't even have an idea of what it is to be a leader because his beliefs and his his way of thinking is unethical, meaning that, oh, it's okay for me to buy an $80,000 car on a $50,000 salary, but it's definitely not okay for you to not pay child support because now you're giving the mother an excuse. And I'm speaking for all women that have may have been through this. It doesn't even have to be particularly a car. It could be a man saying, "Well, I have to pay rent this month. I can't afford to contribute any money." And you men, you sit back and you like get off on that. The satisfaction that you are selfish and you are stingy, you are cheap, and you are hateful, and you are mean, and you are cruel, and you are bigoted and prejudiced, and towards the woman that any woman. Right? You feel like you holding leverage against her with money, but you don't even have money yourself because you're not like honest and open enough to say, well, listen, I bought a $50,000 car, fucked up. The payments are kicking my ass. You can't even say this to yourself. That was the stupidest move I can ever make. And I've been doing a lot of research about cars because I don't drive, but I know that, what I've researched and what I've learned about cars is like you buying an expensive car once they leave the lot, driven off the lot, the value depreciate. And definitely and that's as far as I'm going to leave it right there about like the price of cars and what cars, because some people do need cars. Like if you're living in an area where you need a car, you need to buy a car. But in New York City, and I'm just talking about the New York City men, and they may or may not have voiced their opinion about women getting food stamps, but it doesn't matter. Right, there are men that live in probably different states that's doing the same unethical shit, buying expensive cars on poor man's salary, right? If you are making $50,000, of course you are working, but you are working from paycheck to paycheck. And if you the only thing that you have to show is a car, then you are definitely a loser. If you don't have any investments, because you know what, people that are on public assistance and that receive public assistance, they can't do and they don't have the freedom to do the things that you're supposed to do that you have not done. And when I say that you have not done, and because you can't show it, you can't sit here and say, well, this is my net worth, right? This is my salary, but this is my net worth. These are my assets, these are my businesses aside from me making $50,000 because I have that mindset and that mentality to grow and get up out of the middle class because the middle class is shrinking. So now you're stuck in the middle class, but you're not now nowhere near even being a billionaire ever in your life. You are definitely nowhere near being a millionaire in your life because you don't have that type of mentality and that mindset. The things that you have now, men, and I'm talking to men because I hate when y'all get up here trying to berate women, trying to like, really, really tear women apart because women have a better mindset and a clearer mindset. There are some women that definitely will support men in their decisions, whatever decisions they make. My point is that you make all these gross assumptions and you make all these generalizations about women because you don't know how to put things in perspective. Like it's so easy for you to, and it's just rolls off your tongue so easily for you to say the stupidest unfactual things in life, right? So you don't even have assets, you don't even have stocks, you don't even have nothing that you could fall back on. You don't have an emergency fund. You can't retire on a certain amount. So you probably definitely have to work until you 70, 75. And a lot of men